Hey guys, it's the 11th of May. Not much to report on with anything. I have been writing. I actually have a desire to write now, which is strange for my recent moods, but been doing a little bit of that, and I think the only challenge we have coming up is Full Moon Madness on Wednesday. So right now I'm a bit stuck on my handwritten novel. I'm about 45 pages in. Well, small pages, but I thought I would go back and read the first chapter to try and get unstuck. So since I don't have much to talk about this week, I thought I'd read a little bit on camera and see how that goes, because I really don't like reading my stories out loud, so I'm kind of torturing myself here. But I'm not going to read the whole chapter here. I'll just read like the first 6 pages here, and then the whole chapter will be up on my personal channel if you're interested in hearing the rest of it. So yeah, here we go. I knew the moment I saw a stranger from the west that something big was going to happen. Hardly anyone visited our little town as it was, and those who did never came from the west, from Greymont. I was in the market selling produce from my mother's garden when I saw him. I wasn't the only one. Everyone seemed to stop and stare at the stranger. He came over to me first, walking with a slight limp. He was older than me by at least 10 years, but still very handsome. "Pardon me, miss, do you happen to know where I might find a room to stay in for the night?" he asked. He had a pleasant voice with an unfamiliar accent. "You're in luck," I told him, balancing the basket of cabbages on my hip. "My family owns the town's only inn." He smiled at me warmly and extended a hand. "Lucky indeed, miss. People call me Eliezer." I set the cabbages down and shook his hand. "I'm Kirian Arcu. If you'll give me a moment to finish my business here, I can take you to the inn." He stepped aside and allowed me to finish selling the cabbages for a small satchel of Terry's. Then he carried the empty basket for me as I led him home. "Where are you from?" I asked him. "I'm a traveler. Don't really have a proper home," he said. "Just passing through town, then?" "I'm not sure. Usually I like to stay a few nights wherever I go." I laughed. "Well, I'm afraid there's not much to see in Dasha. We're a border town. We get plenty of people passing through on their way to or from Mercer, but no one ever stays for long." "Must be tough for innkeepers," he said. "Yes, but we manage with the vegetables from my mother's garden, and we're quite experienced at fishing." "Have you ever thought of leaving?" What for, I wondered, surprised that a man I'd only just met would ask such a question. "Surely you could do better elsewhere." "My grandfather started the inn. My parents have no intention of abandoning it for wealth." He was silent for a while, and I wondered if I'd come across sounding too harsh, and started to apologize, if only to keep his business, when he went on. "You may reconsider staying here very soon." He sounded quite ominous. I almost laughed. "And why is that?" I asked. "We were just down the road from my house now, an old 2-story place with peeling paint and a leaky roof. We only had 3 rooms available for rent, which was always more than enough. There had been one particularly busy summer where I'd had to sleep in my brother's room for a few nights, but that had been years ago." "I just came from Greymont," Eliezer said slowly, as if that was explanation enough. When I still looked confused, he continued, "Young King Otis is looking to prove his worth and expand his land. I passed an army on my way here. It looks as though Dasha will be the first town they'll hit." We stopped walking and were standing right outside the gate to my home, staring at each other. "You're telling me Greymontian soldiers are headed to attack Dasha, and I'm the first person you've told." "You're the first person I've seen," Eliezer explained. "You've got some time to pack up, though. They shouldn't be anywhere near the border for another week at earliest." "Our cues don't run," I told him, snatching my basket from his hands and rushing into the house. Okay, that's enough for that. Yeah, so that was about the first 6 pages. And, yeah, so if you want to hear the rest of it, it'll be up on my personal channel by the end of the day, and a link to that is in the description. And I think that's all I have to talk about, so I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.